Hi, it's G from Native Speakers Academy, and I'm here today with one of my students, Adam, and we are going to have a little discussion about his experiences of education. So, which school do you go to?
Hi, I go to high school Gymnasium Andreja Sladkoviča in Banská Bystrica.
Okay. And which subjects do you have to study there?
It's a gymnasium, so like every subject that I had in primary school, so math, Slovak, German, English, then what else? Like biology, history, sports, and ethics, and so on.
Okay. My favorite subject is and so on, because that's okay, so let's go for your best subjects and your worst subjects, or what you like, subjects you like and subjects you don't like in school.
Like for me, my subjects, what I like is I like math, Slovak, physics. I also like sports, and maybe ethics.
Okay.
These are the subjects that I'm interested in.
Okay. And what is it that makes these subjects interesting for you?
Well, like these subjects are interesting for me also because of the teachers. Because in the primary school I didn't had like the best teachers. It's also like a primary school, so not the best teachers, but they were good. But now in high school I have really, in high schools are good teachers, but like bad subjects, and so I really like math because they can like show you how it's done, and so.
Okay, so that's practical subjects.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always found when I did maths at school that they would give me these abstract problems that I couldn't relate to real life. A plane is flying from A to B and has this speed, and the wind is blowing at this speed, and what is the fastest way to get from A to B to C, which for a teenager sitting in
I know.
in school,
it all depends like what you want to do in your future life. Like for me, I want to be like a scientist, but to like physics. I want to study physics, and for me it's physics and math very important, because I want to involve it also into the future.
Oh, that's great. A lot of students don't really know what they want to do in the future. So how did you come to the decision that this was?
I don't know. I like really like you said, planes. I love making planes, and you have to know their math and all the calculations, and so. And I really like physics because I want to know like how it works, and so how fast is car going, like the NASCARs, like how fast NASCARs can go and not like take off like the plane, so the physics there, and so.
Yeah, I always find it pretty amazing that something as large as a plane can stay in the air. I mean, I get the basic physics of it, but I still always find it amazing.
It doesn't make like sense a little bit.
Yeah, it's like this really, really heavy object that's a funny shape is going to stay up there in the sky. And that's why people believed it wasn't possible for like thousands of years, because they would say, heavy objects, no, they
will fall.
Yeah, they will fall. Oh, they'll travel for a little bit, and then they'll fall out of the sky. But with the creation of the engine and the fact that that vehicles can move at faster speeds, and the understanding of aerodynamics and pressure, it changed.
Everything's like comes together, and it makes one big sense.
Yeah, it does. Because if you go back 200, 300 years, it was crazy to think about creating a plane and flying, because the technology didn't exist. And then you have really far out daredevil inventors
Yeah.
who are prepared to spend their free time seeing if they can get something to fly. And
Yeah.
then you have the Wright brothers putting an engine in a plane and trying to understand basic aerodynamics and speed and getting the plane to take off. And that was around, I think, 1903, isn't it?
Yeah,
Back in my
can
mind?
be maybe.
I
Maybe, I don't know.
I
Like,
think it was just after 1900
yeah.
that they did that. And so that was one of the first examples of modern flight that we have. And then just fast forward 10 years, you've got the start of the First World War.
Yeah.
And you've got biplanes flying around in the sky doing loops with machine guns attached to them, which is all kind of crazy, and dropping bombs as well. So that 10 years, in just 10 years, there was incredible development. And then fast forward to beginning of the Second World War, you've got jet propulsion.
Yeah, that was like amazing.
And jet planes. So within the space of just over 40 years, you've got from not being able to fly at all.
Yeah, to fly perfectly.
Yeah. You've
Jet
got
planes and so.
traveling at amazing speeds so fast that it's so hard to control the plane. It's here, sit on this rocket.
Yeah,
press these buttons. Hold on. And then land this thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If possible.
If possible.
If possible.
Yeah. And close your eyes and cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Absolute madness to a certain extent. To now they want the planes to be invisible, right? So they're all fitted with stealth technology so that no one can see it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bit strange, but that's where the technology is going. So that's a pretty interesting way to get into the topic and the subject through physics. Ethics, what's that about in school? Can you tell me a little bit about
ethics?
that?
Like you learn there like how to react in kind of situations, and for example, we were learning like how to politely say someone like what you prefer or so. We also learned there about relationships, and so it's just about like family, friends, and politeness.
Okay, so that sounds quite practical and useful. But let me play devil's advocate here. Let me argue the other side. Isn't that something that you should get from your parents?
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of people do, but then why do they include it in school?
I don't know, but 90% of these ethics you get from your parents and your family. So just recap there or so.
Oh,
maybe.
Okay, just to remind you.
Yeah, remind.
Of what the right thing is to do.
Or also, like, you argue there with your problems, like what you have, you just talk to the teacher and he maybe gives you an advice or so. So it's like, I don't know if I can say that, like, help, or just a little help from your teachers when you have, like, when, for example, your mother and father are divorced, like, you won't say that feelings to their parents, or some, but most of the children not, but then you go to the teacher and just argue with them, like, what's better, and also the teacher's opinion, he's like also father or mother, also their opinion on the kids, and so.
Okay. So they give you helpful information, they give you advice.
Yeah, like some extras. Like what you want to know or so.
Yeah, I think when you say argue, what you mean is debate and discuss the topic. I mean, argue suggests something a little bit stronger, which might happen from time to time, but that's okay. Well, there's this question of should students have ethics or should they have morals? My worry with ethics is that ethics are related to culture, and culture is related to what is accepted as normal and what is maybe, it's like politeness. Habits change.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get better. That ethics could, it can change. What is good today might not be good in 20 or 30 years, and my fear with ethics is that it's not a strong enough foundation or subject. The classic example is you build your house on the rocks or you build your house on the sand. You build your house on the sand and it sinks. But the sand looked good because it was closer to the beach and the sea, and people are lazy. Right?
Yeah.
And that maybe we need a little bit more moral teaching, rules that are fixed and don't change, like you've got the religious rule or edict of thou shalt not kill.
Yeah.
Whereas from an ethical perspective, you could look at that from, okay, when is it right or not right to do that? And the classic example with ethics is five men are in a balloon, and the balloon is flying over the mountains, and they lose pressure, and the balloon is falling down, and you've got a doctor, a writer, a footballer, a teacher, and I don't know, racing car driver or something, and somebody's got to go to get over the mountains. Somebody's got to go, and so all sit together in groups and decide who.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like
who goes over the edge, and it's usually the racing driver. I think
maybe.
Or it should be the teacher, but never mind. Nobody ever thinks
In some
that.
cases. Yeah.
In some cases, yeah, because it's all organized in school. It can't be the teacher because the teacher is really important. But and the real answer to the problem is that you're all in it together, so you better solve the problem together, not pick on one person, because it never changes that it's good to do something bad in any situation. It's never right to do something wrong to get the right result. It's a bit philosophical, but that's okay. So we went through the subjects you liked in school: the maths, the Slovak, the physics, the sports, and the ethics. Tell me a little bit about the sports subject in school. What do you do there? How does that work?
Like I'm a first grader, and we just started to meet all these new teachers, so they want to be like polite on us now in the first years. So on we change up and just what we want to do. We just tell the teacher like we want to play football, we want to play basketball, we want to play badminton, we want to play volleyball or some kind of sports, and he just gave he's going to give us the ball and give us the ball, and we were yesterday playing volleyball, and he just showed us like what do we have to do, how it's played, and so and then we were like carrying on by ourselves, so he explains and then we can do like our stuff.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to organize it. You give a minimal amount of instruction and the basic rules and techniques and things, and you just let people get on with it, basically. And if you see that people need some advice or help, you can offer it later on. But I think the best thing about sports is just letting people play, because it's pretty practical, and if you don't know how to play it, in the space of 2 minutes you work out what to do, and if you do something wrong, somebody gives you a push
in
the right direction, with a few choice words. Okay, what about subjects that you don't enjoy very much in school.
I really don't enjoy biology.
Okay.
And what else can I don't enjoy? Biology is like the most subject that I don't enjoy.
So what is it that you don't like? That's a difficult question, maybe. But
It's not maybe like in biology, like the biology, but the way the teacher is teaching us.
okay.
The teacher wants us like, so the teacher wants that we have to know so much information that it cannot be learned like by 1 week or 1 hour, because one lesson has 45 minutes and we write like 3 or 2 A4 lists, and that's like you have to know it another day. That's a little bit more I think than I used to learn. And we have also another subject that we have to learn, and it's not possible for me to learn all the things in biology what we were writing, and so.
Does it ever happen that you get so much work from each subject that there's not enough time for you to?
Definitely, because it not happens all the time, but in some days usually I go home and be home at 3 p.m. and at 3 p.m. you just don't have enough time because you have then dinner and so and I usually go to bed about 9 p.m. So you have like there 6 hours and 1 hour for math, 1 hour for Slovak, and then biology takes me about 2, 3, maybe 4 hours. So that's quite long.
It is, especially if you spend, I don't know, 6, 7 hours in school a day.
Yeah, teachers just teach, and then in the after hours, they just do their own stuff. And we are in school in the mornings, and we also have to study in the evenings.
Yeah, there's it doesn't end when school finishes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just starts when school finishes, because you might receive the basic information in school, but then you have to go home and have a look at it in your own time to fully understand it.
But I a little bit get it that I have to learn a lot now, because I have to be prepared, but there should be a balance, I think.
And one thing I forgot to ask you at the beginning was, how old are you at the moment?
I'm 16 years old.
16 years old, okay. We had a little discussion before we started recording about this week for you in school. You were talking about the fact that you have quite a lot of pressure this week.
This week, yes, because it's a week before Christmas, and every teacher wants to get rid of the subject that are after Christmas, so in the new year. So every test we would write on January, we are writing now. So every day we are writing like 2 or 3 tests, and that's like also like mentally you have to learn a lot. You don't have your free time, so you have to just keep going.
What happens if you fail any of these tests?
As I said, you have to keep going. Just prepare for another and just get to the point where you are happy.
Do you think that some students sometimes maybe feel a lot of stress and pressure from these exams?
I feel of every test some pressure, because you obviously get a mark, and the marks are for me important. So the results.
Yeah, from my perspective, it's like somebody constantly trying to shoot you. It just you can't relax, because
they want to let you down, and you have to prove them that you can stand up. And so.
Yes, but you study and you prepare and you go and do a test or you take a test and then you pass the test.
And then another test.
And then you got another one.
Yeah.
And the moment you finish that one, there's something else coming. And there's not much opportunity to relax. Now you can question whether or not you should relax in school and education. There's no change without some kind of pressure in the situation. So if there was zero pressure, then there would be zero change. The question is, should this pressure be from the outside in, from school coming into students, which is where we get the word information, because you're informing, you're putting information into people to shape them, or whether it should be you making choices for yourself. Now, there must be some students who are less skilled than you. It might be because of talent, it might be because of hard work that you put yourself in a better position. Sometimes it's a mixture of both. And although certain studies have shown that there's maybe no such thing as talent, just hard work.
Can be.
And the environment that you live within. For example, if you take musicians, those musicians who tend to be the soloists, the best musicians, are the musicians who practice more. In general, yes, you need a little bit of talent. Yes, you need to enjoy what you're doing. Yes, you need people to support and help you, but you need to practice.
Yeah.
Practice.
I'm a drummer, but as you said, you need also a good environment and also people around you. So I'm a drummer. I'm playing drums for 6 years now, and I really didn't get the chance to play like in a band. So that's also that I like now to practice on my own, to like be a solo drummer. So also the environment is very important, and the people, because I think when I would play, like when I played 3 or 2 years in a band, I would like definitely love the band more than solo stuff.
Yeah, in my head is the example of in sport of Michael Jordan. Just practice, shoot, and you just work at it, and
you have to love the stuff you do.
Yeah, you have to enjoy it, and you have to work hard sometimes from a very early age. If you look at other famous sports people like Tiger Woods, before he held a pen or a pencil, he held a golf club in his hand. He was on TV at the age of 2 playing golf. That's just quite incredible. And the same with the tennis playing sisters, Venus and Serena Williams. They trained from a very young age to play tennis, and the results are visible. That the training paid off. It worked. Doesn't work for everybody, because you can get injured. You can not enjoy what you're doing.
You don't have to start also when you are young. You can start like also like now, and you could be popular in 4, 5, 7 years, but maybe not in tennis or so, but in something else.
Yeah, well, there's also the fact that there are so many things that a person can do in the world. How do you know what you're going to be good at?
Yeah.
How do you know what's going to be the best for you? It's really hard. Obviously, the skills that you collect and you pick up when you're younger stay with you your entire life. If you have, like from my experience, I had piano lessons when I was really young for a few years, and I can still sit at a piano and play something today because of that. Whereas if I didn't have the lessons, I would probably just look at a piano and go, yeah, what's that? One finger.
Yeah, like me.
Like that. So the experiences we have when we're younger do affect our choices later in life as well. And so you said that you had maybe 2 or 3 tests a day, and then you have to prepare for these tests the night before or the day before. And
I think that it should be all balanced, like not 10 tests or 8 tests in 1 week, just maybe 2 or 3 weeks to also get the students to relax and so. because every day writing 2 tests is a little bit too much for me. And also on one test you prepare better than on the other, so you have to balance it also.
Yeah, and it's also, I would say, like it's a juggling act.
Yeah.
Where you got to keep the balls in the air, and because there's always something that you have to prepare for or get ready for. And in some ways, it's a good way to prepare for life and a good way to get organized. But that is if you have intelligence, understanding, and support. There are going to be students who don't have that. You know, students who come from maybe single parent families,
Yeah.
and their family doesn't have a lot of time to help them, and it's going to be hard for these students to do really well in school. So, what about the quality of the teachers and the teaching in the school that you're in? How would you rate that? Yeah.
Like in primary schools, you often got good teachers and bad teachers. As I said, you can't really pick. But I see that in high school there are more talented teachers, or they can teach. Like, you don't have there like bad teachers or good teachers. You have there like teachers that expect a lot from you, or just average. Like, but you have to learn like every single class or subject. It's just the subject hard, not the. You can't say that the teacher can't describe or this or this.
What's better, when the teacher expects a lot from you, or when the teacher expects the average?
It depends, but I think that it's better to the teacher expects a lot from you, because you have there like she's pushing you to do better than other students, and it's also like motivating, and so.
That's a very good answer. Right. Let's talk about choice. Do you get to make any choices within the school and what you study in education?
Oh, yes. Like now we have, like, for example, at Slovak, I don't choose. We are choosing like the whole class what we want. Not what we want to learn, but what we want to learn first. We have that choice. Like, we can organize, like, if we want to, for example, Slovak, if we want to learn first literature or grammatics or so. So that's good, I think.
So is that an agreement between the class and the teacher?
Yes.
How do you know what's best?
What I personally like. We just vote.
Yeah, so the teacher says, do you want this or this, and put up your hand or something like that.
But we will we will be the teacher will teach us both subjects, but we just pick what we want first. What's better for us.
Okay, so you do get some choices then.
Yes.
In the system. And
that's, I think, the difference between primary and high school. One of them.
Are there any spaces that you could see for improvement in the way that things are done within your school? There's usually something you can tweak or change here or there to make things a little bit better. Can you think of any examples?
I don't know, because in high school I'm first year, so I am now learning the system and how it goes. So, and on maybe in 2 or 3 years I would know. I don't know, but now I'm fine. But maybe it all depends on the teachers. But if the teachers would maybe a little bit understand also us, that they don't put like 10 tests in a week or so, tests in a week, just also look at like our side.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the teachers are under pressure?
Maybe from the director. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe yes. Some of them yes, and some of them no.
What do you think makes a good teacher?
Good teacher has to know how to explain stuff that everybody, not only 1% of the students will know.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't know, like the most important is that she could talk about the subject and we will understand it. And a good teacher also gives us normal tests, like tests are and tests will be, and also a good teacher will talk to the students how they want to involve or practice or so.
Mm-hmm.
Also the balance, like yeah.
What makes a good student?
Be nice in school and learn.
Do what you are told.
Yeah.
Like a good little soldier. Right. Are there students in school who you would say are bad students?
They are not bad, but they are just different. They think different and they want to do something different. Like maybe they are not good in math, but they can be great at biology.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to be a politician in the future, do you?
No.
Because you just gave a really nice little answer there, which took us in a completely different direction. But that's fine. Doesn't matter what sneaky little question I have for you here.
Yeah.
You seem to find a way of answering it very nicely. But I'll catch you out before we finish. I'll catch you out.
Maybe.
So we talked about what makes a good teacher, what makes a good student, what makes a good school.
Good teachers and good students.
Okay. That's interesting. Let's talk about your experience with English, because at the moment you have some English in the state school where you go. Yeah.
Yeah, we have like an English class.
Yeah.
So we have like more English than usual.
Mm-hmm. And your parents are interested in your future, so they send you here so that you get a little bit more practice and experience. And where did you learn your English? Let's talk about that. What was the process?
The first time I learned English was in Vienna, I think.
Okay.
Was in Vienna. I was in Vienna for 3 years, and I was learning there English and German.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first time I was learning English, and then it just was going until now.
And when was that? When were you in Vienna?
When I was like 5 to 7, 8.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any memories of what the education in the school was like there?
It was if it was different than in Slovakia, because we have like breaks every 45 minutes, 10 minutes, 5-minute breaks, and then one big break. And there we had, I don't know how many hours we've got, I think 5 or 4. We had just one big break. We had like math, and then immediately we went to German, and then we had like one big half an hour break. We had their garden, and we just went. We went out.
Mm-hmm.
Here you have to be in school.
And which way is better, do you think?
I don't know, but I think that every system has its pros and cons. Maybe when I was in Vienna, you couldn't learn, like, when you had a break, you couldn't learn at the next subject because you didn't have the break. Just immediately went to geography or math. And then you had the one big break, and you also couldn't learn because we were out playing. But we were children, so we didn't mind to learn.
You just did what you had to do, basically. It's usually helpful when parents are interested in their children's education. So what kind of help have you had from your parents with your education?
My mom is a Slovak teacher and a history teacher, so she was learning me from the 5th grade till now. She's learning me. When I need something, I would ask her, and she would give me an answer. Also about Slovak and history. So that's very good for me.
It always.
And my dad is also English teacher, so he can also speak English, and I ask him something, so he can reply.
So your parents can support you with what you do. Well, that's great. Is there anything that you think that maybe you don't get it from school, but it might be useful or practical for you? Is it something you would maybe add into the subjects or the study? It's a big question.
I think that the most important things are in school now. Maybe also the less important things, but we don't know, like, how to prepare for work and so. But in not in gymnasiums, but in high schools that are interested in electrics or so, they have like the dual education that they 1 week I think they go to school, and 1 week they have like working space or so.
Some kind of work experience.
Yeah, work experience. But I'm now in a gymnasium, so it's like a primary school. So in gymnasium you don't need this dual studying, I think, because then you go to college, and there is it important, I think, also.
As a teacher and someone who works in education, there is a lot of talk about technology and how we need to use and integrate more technology into education. Do you see any of that happening in your school?
Yes, we have computers, but they are like out of date, I think. They are not so good. And also the teachers that are educating, they are like from 30 to 50 years old, and they also, when they were young like us, they didn't had anything, so they have to also learn. And I think that they rather write on a piece of paper than on a notebook or so. But I think that's good. I don't have problems with that.
Do you feel any difference between younger teachers and older teachers?
In high school, no.
That's a very straight answer, right?
And in primary school, usually when you study like teaching, the first job you get can be like primary school, and there you see the difference that the younger teachers aren't that experienced as the older teachers.
Are there ever any problems with discipline of students in the school? Maybe
Yeah,
not, I don't know.
they are like. It also depends on the class. It depends on the class if the class respects the teacher and the teacher respects the class, or they don't go well together or so.
Mm-hmm. How does a teacher get the respect of their students? How does that work?
But
Okay.
compromise or
Yeah, so some things that the teacher wants to do, they do, and some of the things that the students want to do,
yeah,
they do. So it's a little bit of a balance.
because you don't like persons who will tell you what to do and you can't nothing,
Mm-hmm.
you can't talk back. But when you have the level there, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Also for us, like a class, and also for a teacher, I think, because teacher wants good students.
So do you feel prepared for your future? Do you feel that the education that you've got so far is enough and that you're ready to take the next step?
I don't think so. I think I need more time to prepare for the real world
Mm-hmm.
and study more.
Mm-hmm. And just to finish, we'll talk just a little bit about this school here and the work that we do here. How would you compare the language classes here with what you get in school?
Oh, like I said, we are like English class, so we've got once per 2 weeks a lecture. So he's from the UK, and he just also like you speaks. So, and we have a really good English teacher. She speaks really well, and I really like the English classes in the school, and this is also really good. We just speak a lot and make grammar that we are not doing in school.
Okay, super. Thank you very much for your thoughts and opinions and ideas. As always, I think that the student should be the customer and maybe the parents of the clients in the world of education, and it's important to focus on some of the students' needs and to make sure that they're getting what they want out of the education system. We also, before the conversation, we talked a little bit about how it's hard sometimes because you're forced to go to school. There's not really much choice. There are some countries of the world where students are not forced to go to school. There are alternatives, but most parents still choose to send their children to school anyway because they don't have the time themselves to teach their children, or the knowledge sometimes as well. And so the best of all worlds is to send your children to school, and hopefully they will find a way or a path or a subject that interests them there. But when you're forced to go, it's a little bit like having the government company that forces people. It doesn't force people to buy products. There's no competition. So if you have to buy all your computers from the government or all your cars from the government, there's no competition. If there's no competition, there's very little incentive to want to be better or to try to be better. And one of my fears in education is that if you force people to go to school, what's the incentive to be better? What's the challenge to be better? You need some competition in the environment, the same way that we have leagues of football teams and playing against other teams improves your skills.
Yes.
It's necessary to have this level of competition, I think, where schools are encouraged to provide a higher quality of service with teachers who have more knowledge and more experience in the world as well. And it's hard to develop that when you just have to go to school anyway. So maybe there's some space for a little bit of an improvement there within the future. And if you force someone to do something, it's kind of a sign that you're scared that maybe they don't want to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't think you need to force people to go to school. If the schools are good, people are going to go there anyway, because where else are they going to get to learn about biology or the history or geography? You want to go to people who are experts and who are knowledgeable about the subjects. So there's definitely a very important place for school in society. So again, thank you for your thoughts and opinions, and we will see where all this information takes us. I've just done so many interviews with students now that I've got hours and hours of material that I have to try to edit and work with. But I think I'm going to make a few little videos and sort of put them up on the net. And I'm going to pause this one right here.